Alright, I just got done playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I had to read this twice because I didn't understand the developer insights. We'll get into that in a second. So we have the TIE Interceptor prototype, who's piloted by the second sister. She's an Empire, Attacker, Inquisitorious ship, which is interesting that we have a whole new ship tag. But it doesn't look like she's going to rely off other Inquisitors. There's a chance that those other Inquisitors are going to bolster her, right? Because they're probably all going to be Empire Inquisitorious, huh? But without speculating on that, we're going to move over to her basic ability. LS 9.3 Laser Cannons. Final text, deal physical damage twice to target enemy. Target locked. This attack can't be evaded. So that's nice. We're an attacker. I'm sure it probably does 30, 40k, pushing probably around 100k on a basic, right? If Vader can hit that, she's probably got to hit somewhere around there, right? Maybe a little less, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of damage she's putting out. Not soon, by the way, because this is a conquest ship, which I'm both happy and sad about. I'm happy because it's going to be a while before it's in the game, so we're going to have time to gear up Second Sister if we're not whaling. But on the flip side, I am kind of sad because I'm not going to be getting the ship for a long time. We still don't know how they're going to do farming with those kinds of conquest characters. They're still trying to figure it out, so hopefully they get back to us on that. We're going to go to our first special, Auto Thrust Maneuvers. Cooldown of 2. Final text. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain Foresight for 2 turns. If TIE Interceptor already has Foresight, it grants a random other ally Foresight for 2 turns. If the enemy she targets is target locked, dispel target lock from that enemy and deal 50% more damage. That's like a standard. That's just a big bomb. The Foresight thing's interesting. Because of later on in her kit. We'll talk more about Foresight later on in her kit for sure. Moving to our special, Ruthless Pursuit. 5 turn cooldown. This is the big one. This is what makes her cool and interesting. So we're going to be here for a hot minute. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Gain Ruthless, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And give target enemy and all Jedi enemies pursued target until the end of the encounter. Whenever TIE Interceptor uses an ability, if the target did not have pursued target, Ruthless expires and pursued target is removed from all remaining enemies. TIE Interceptor can ignore taunt effects when targeting enemies with pursued target. Alright, so first off, the Ruthless bonuses they're really nice. 15% crit chance, 20% crit damage, and 30% offense. Making me wonder, it's probably the opener, I'd imagine, is Ruthless Pursuit. But I'm not, ship's not going to be in my hands for a minute, so we'll see. And then Pursued Target says, and we're going to talk about Foresight. When TIE Interceptor prototype targets this unit with an ability during its turn, it gains 40% turn meter. And TIE Interceptor prototype must target this unit or a unit with taunt and can ignore taunt. But if we target the unit with taunt who's not a pursued enemy, we will lose Ruthless. It's really weird how this is worded. Basically, it's saying if someone comes in and there's no taunter, you have to hit the pursued targets first, is what it's trying to get at. It's just worded really weirdly. So if you have Ahsoka and Anakin, and then they reinforce a third ship, the only 2 targets you have are still Ahsoka and Anakin because they're the only ones pursued. Doesn't matter what the other ship is, until it gains taunt, you cannot target it. This reinforcement is big. Well, we're actually going to talk about this because I want to talk about Foresight. Whenever an Empire, Inquisitorious, or Sith ally reinforces, TIE Interceptor prototype gains Foresight. Whenever TIE Interceptor prototype critically hits an enemy, if all allies are Empire, Inquisitorious, or Sith, the allied capital ship gains 5% turn meter. Right? So remember the other ability we were having. It spreads Foresight to another random ally. So if we're running our homie, the Imperial TIE Fighter, as is shown in this little picture right here, we're going to be pushing turn meter, a lot of turn meter to our capital ship. So every Foresight that we gain means 1, that we're evading a bunch. 2, that whenever we have the extra Foresight, we have a chance to pass it off to our homie, who then has a chance to move that turn meter over to our capital ship, along with us giving 5% turn meter whenever we crit. It doesn't have to be a targeted enemy or anything like that. It's just a flat crit. So our basic can give up to 10% turn meter, And our Ruthless Pursuit can give, I mean, if the full fleet's out there, up to 25%, but probably 15%. I think this is crazy nuts. Crazy nuts. The amount of turns our capital ship could be taking, especially with like a Thrawn-led capital ship who can then have her assist and attack 2 more times and possibly crit more times to push more turn meter to itself, seems pretty good to me. But you know, maybe I'm a little out of whack. Let's talk about this reinforcement, and then we're going to talk about why I think Chimera is the ship, and they pointed out in their dev stuff as well. I didn't realize how much Chimera was the ship until I read the update. So our reinforcement is if all allies are Empire, Sith, or Inquisitorius, dispel buffs on all enemies and apply target lock and buff immunity for 2 turns. And then on top of that, we dispel all debuffs on Empire, Inquisitorius, and Sith allies. That's big. That's huge. Especially because it looks like you're going to want to either keep her as your first or second reinforcement, depending on how you're going to be playing this unit. You'll see what I mean here when we go over to the dev insights. Okay, real quick. They are spelling it out with me as well. Works well with Empire fleets. Says it should work under the Chimera really well, but it shouldn't be one-shotting the Executor. But should now have all the tools needed to challenge many of the other fleets in the game. Many of the other fleets being the other Empire fleets, I imagine. The Negotiator. And if someone's using whatever Endurance, it should hit both the Galactic Republic ships. I think it might struggle with Rebels. Maybe a little bit. We already know its reinforcement ability is good. The unique attributes. This is big. It's the second fastest ship in the game currently. That's real fast. Like, I don't know if Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has it here. You go to ship stats, and we filter it by speed. Wow, that means it's got to be 214-ish, somewhere in here? Yeah, probably, because they wouldn't tie it with Imperial TIE Fighter, huh? So it's got to be 214. And then Imperial TIE Fighter is 213. That's big. We're going to have a really fast fleet on Empire. Right? Inspirations, whatever. I'm not even worried about the strategy tips, okay? We're moving down here. This is the big thing, right? How is the TIE Advanced 1's kit changed? The new final tier of advanced targeting systems now reads, at the start of battle, if all allies are Empire, Inquisitorius, or Sith, and TIE Interceptor is in your reinforcements, allied Empire capital ship cooldowns are reduced by 1, including call reinforcements. And this is kind of what I mean why the ship's going to be our first or second reinforcement. Is this TIE Advanced this is big. Being able to skip another cooldown, coming back over here, on the Chimera is, oh man, that's going to be really nice. Because what it means is strategic dominance goes from a 4-turn to a 3-turn cooldown. And then, right, we also have our reinforcement ability should be up, like, immediately. We should go through a round of combat, go straight to our ship, have an immediate reinforce. That dispel could be huge, right? It also just gives you a whole nother, like, level the playing field kind of thing, being able to call a different unit to assist if you don't, to reinforce if you don't quite need that dispel yet. But this is big. This is big. Having it be 4 turns for Chimera down to 3 because of the synergy between these two, and then pushing all the turn meter, the 10 to 15%-ish from Second Sister, and then however much comes off of the Imperial TIE Fighter, is going to be really large. Really hard to deal with, especially if we're running like TIE Bomber in the lineup. They're going to get trapped behind that guy while burning. If he lives to the point I hope he does, then man oh man, is he going to be full healed and something going to die off that turn. It's going to be rough. Real rough. I don't know how well this team will deal with Rebels, but it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. You can already see all the homies here. TIE Bomber, TIE Fighter. I don't know how they don't have TIE Advanced in our synergy suggestions, but especially with this rework. But, you know, I'm thinking Chimera's big. We have plenty of time, because like I said, this is a conquest character. We have plenty of time to farm out Second Sister and get her prepped and ready for her new ship. This is going to put Chimera above. I definitely want to say it's above Resistance, and it's going to be above our other Empire ship of Executrix. Of course, it probably will never be above Executor, but it's like it's an actual legendary ship now. Well, the TIE Interceptor is a legendary ship, but Thrawn gets to piggyback off that, and I'll take whatever I can get. You know, I think that's it. I think that's it. I can't really think of anything else I want to add to this other than like with the addition of a new tag, right? With having Inquisitorius as a tag in ships, I really hope that we flesh out these other ship squads, right? Because First Order, right? We only have 4 ships for First Order. We go to Resistance, we only have 3 ships for Resistance, right? But if we go to Empire, man, do we have a lot. We have a ton. Well, we don't have this one and the other Sith Empire one. Where is it? B-28. But we do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. We have a full squad. We're about to have 7. We're full out, right? We come over to Rebel. Oh man, are we full out? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are overfleeted for Rebels, even though they only have 1 leader, right? So what's you know? Hopefully this spells the beginning of a beautiful ship time in Galaxy of Heroes. They flesh out ships. Maybe we'll have a little bit more fun with them. Maybe they'll be a little bit more enjoyable. Maybe you can get your favorite fleet popping in. Until then, though, I don't think this is bad. I like it. I don't know how I feel about another Conquest character being a ship. Personally, I can't do the hard Conquest, so it's just a gear sync for me. However, maybe one day we'll get our Conquest characters farmable. And we'll have that figured out so we can get her on a nice farming schedule. I'll see you guys later. Guten Tag. I'm hyped for TIE Interceptor. Real hyped.